Well, I want to welcome everybody to this training webinar. You guys, we do this every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central, 10 Eastern. A little early for the West Coast, 7 a.m. But you know what? It's well worth it because you get the basics each week on Saturday, but each Saturday we're going to have something just a little bit different just to keep you abreast of everything that's going on with Relive. And we have some exciting stuff going on today. So you're going to be happy that you are on. There are 3 parts you need to master when you're doing a Relive business. Understanding the products, and we have an exciting announcement about that today. Understanding the marketing plan. And everybody has the same products. We all have the same marketing plan, but the biggest difference in your business is going to be you. Because you are the boss of your own business. You get to choose how hard you're going to work, what you're going to do, when you're going to work, even who you're going to work with. So that all depends on you. That can be a good thing. So what is the difference between a distributor who's making $500 a month, which is great if that's what you want, or $5,000 a month? It's really just more effort. It's just putting forward more effort. And is it 10 times more effort? Not necessarily, because there is an exponential factor when you build your business and you start a momentum going. It takes on a life of its own. And there's never been a better time for you to really get excited about putting a little more effort into it and letting people know about Relive, because we have a brand new product just released yesterday called Defense, Relive Defense. And apparently this is something Dr. Carl had been working on before, and they have gotten it to the market in just the best time when people are really focusing on building their immune system, especially with the pandemic that's going on. So we actually have a very special guest. I'm not going to say I know a lot about this. I pulled some of the information from one of the benefit sheets Relive provided, but we have a fantastic guest on with us, Dr. Rhett Bergeron in Atlanta. He is a Relive distributor, doctor of functional medicine, and he has graciously agreed to come on. And, you know, Dr. Rhett, if you could come on and share, first of all, how you even got started with Relive, a little bit of your story.
Sure. Good morning to everyone. My involvement in Relive started, a couple of years ago. A longtime patient in my practice asked me to look at the products. She knew I was busy and knew I used mostly nutritional products in my practice with many different vendors, but she asked me to take a serious look at them. I didn't do it right away. Later on, she developed a change of health involving her breast. She had a prior history of breast cancer many years ago that I had assisted her with. This new particular change was definitely concerning for breast cancer, but the first step for her was not to enter the conventional medical process, but she attacked it from a nutritional sort of functional medicine standpoint. She had been on Now and Luna Rich, and she greatly increased her dosages, and we watched the area of concern resolve over a number of months. So that obviously got my attention. And then I began to look at the products a little closer, and being in this field for 20 years, it was easy to become very impressed with the various products with Relive. So that's what first got me involved. And then a year ago in June, I actually signed up as a master distributor. And my own personal sort of story is that I began using Now and Cardio Essentials and noticed a real obvious and quick sort of improvement in my general energy and sense of well-being. And then my 12-year-old son has had some real definite learning neurological disabilities and speech delays. And we started him on the Now for Children for kids. And within weeks, his speech just dramatically improved, and so did his overall cognitive functioning. So that was my initial involvement, and we were really impressed with the Relive products.
That's fantastic. And I know when this came out yesterday, you know, they said you were excited about what was in this, because I know you've studied nutrition. Obviously, that's your field. Share with us why we should be excited about this.
Well, I will. And let me say this. About a month ago, I put out a COVID virus prevention and treatment strategy, and the key nutrients were vitamins A, C, D, and the mineral zinc. But then I added to the program a couple of new targeted immune options, and one of them was beta glucan. So when I saw an email either Thursday or Friday morning, you know, an announcement of the defense product, within 2 seconds of looking at the label, I was so impressed, because beta glucan has been studied since the 1960s. So it's well researched, well documented, and then of course reishi ganoderma is also an extremely impressive herb for the immune system. It's used all over the world, particularly in cancer clinics. And Tinospora was something I actually was not familiar with. It's an Ayurvedic herb used in India, but after researching that yesterday, it has actually even more potential properties than the first two, because it's used all over the body in a number of different ways. So that's my preliminary assessment of defense. I think it's going to be exactly what people need to round out their wellness immune protocol, particularly for any type of viruses. And you know, the likelihood is that COVID is going to return in the future. And so this is the product to add to your, you know, defense protocol.
So Dr. Bergeron, just to be clear, this is something that you don't just take when you think you're going to get sick or something. This is something you would add to your wellness protocol.
Absolutely, of course, I would add it to my wellness protocol. You know, in the modern world, you know, 1 out of 3 people will be diagnosed with cancer. So just with that alone, we ought to be proactive, and adding this product is very important. Also, as we get older, we know that stress and modern environmental exposure to chemicals will greatly suppress our metabolism and immune function and make us susceptible to infections and viruses. And then the older we get, we need to be more proactive. So this would be the perfect product to add to our regimen every day, and to even increase that in the winter when we have the flu, and then when COVID comes back around.
Fantastic. Just one other really quick question. Would it be okay for children or women who are pregnant to use this product? Do you know? And I don't want to put you on the spot.
It is absolutely appropriate for children. And I will admit to you, I have not looked at the pregnancy issue, and I will have to look at that closer before I give an opinion on that.
Yeah.
But my guess is that it's probably perfectly fine, but I have not looked at that question yet.
Right. And I didn't want to put you on the spot for that. So, you know, thank you so much for coming on, because I know you would know a lot more about this than we would. And that's the beauty of it, is the scientists at Relive obviously know what they're doing, but to have somebody who actually understands how amazing this product is and coming on, we appreciate it a lot, Dr. Bergeron.
And the very last thing I'll say is that if some of you get used to using our U.S. National Library of Science database called PubMed, you type in reishi or ganoderma, you'll find over 1,000 articles in the last 20, 30 years, scientific articles from all over the world. So again, this is a extremely well documented product, and I look forward to people benefiting from it.
Awesome. I do too. And I look forward to us helping a lot of people that way. Thanks so much, Dr. Bergeron.
You're welcome.
So what do we need to do to build this business then? Build your wall of belief. And first of all, in the Relive products, the first step in that is being a product of the product. Now, Dr. talk about how it's important to utilize this product every day. Also, your nutrition. It's something you want to use on a daily basis. And when he was talking about it, use enough of it that you get your results. Work very closely with the people who get you started, your sponsor, to get the proper amounts, the proper products for you to get the best results. And then not just your results, but others too. You want to expose yourself to as many Relive stories, opportunities as possible. And I always stress, write them down. Listen to those stories to help you understand the products. You don't have to be an expert on the ingredients, but you can become an expert on what's possible by understanding the stories of what's happening out there. And the good news is you're going to be able to share that. and learn to tell your story when you're going to go out there. Building your wall of belief, part of it is, as you share it, you'll be surprised at how much that affects how you feel about your story. You want to keep it brief. You want to keep it to the bullet points, 2 to 3 minute version for conversations in 3 ways. You know, if they start asking more questions, you can go into more detail on those. But on like presentations like this, or somewhere where you're maybe quote unquote in the elevator speech area, you want to keep it to a minute. Hit the bullet points. Don't need to do the whole journey around your entire story, but hit the bullet points, things that would catch people's interest and have them ask for more. And we stress how important the stories are, because it's reality versus opinion. And so what we can do is when we share these stories, it counters all arguments, because no one can argue with me that I have not gotten off my thyroid medication, because I have. No one can argue with me that I'm no longer in pain, because I'm not. The story is the reality. And so it shows the results versus trying to get into arguments with people about the ingredients. And I've got a few people who have volunteered to share their story. The first person I've got is Heather Jordan. If you could unmute your line and come on and share how the Relive products have blessed you, that would be great.
Good morning, everyone. I am Heather Jordan. I am a registered nurse north of Atlanta, Georgia. When Relive found me, I was covered head to toe with eczema. I had seen many doctors and tried pharmaceutical stuff, changed my diet, did the whole 9 yards, and nothing was working. I got on these products and faithfully took them. And within 3 months, my skin was clear, which I had not seen in years. But I noticed during that time, I wasn't taking my migraine medication like I had used to. I had suffered with those for well over 20 years. I figured that was just a way of life. So I got off my migraine medication. My skin was beautiful. Fast forward to our lovely CBD product. I've been taking those for essential tremors. And try putting in an IV when your hand is shaking. It ain't easy. I have no more tremors while I take this stuff faithfully. And I up my doses every day I go into work because I need to keep my immune system high. I will never be without these products.
Awesome, Heather, thanks so much. And I bet with what you have to do, I bet you're excited about the new product that just came out.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Heather. And I'm going to come back here to Nebraska. Dave Bobra, could you come on and share how the Relive products have blessed your family?
Yes, Pam. Good morning to you, and good morning to everybody across this wonderful world. It is a pleasure to share with you what's happened to me and my wife. We live in central Nebraska. We've been on the product since late 2000. I've seen great results with my blood pressure, cholesterol levels, my wife with rheumatoid arthritis. But recently, my wife was diagnosed with macular degeneration in both eyes. One eye was wet. Had the chance of losing both eyes. As she took the products and increased her dosages, she went from vision of 2100 to better than 2030. In fact, the injections the doctors recommend to maintain the wet macular degeneration, the doctor's now recommending that she stop those because she has healed so completely. She also suffers from an issue called cervical dystonia, in which her head bobs like a little bob doll of the dash car of your old Mustang. Getting on the RLV products in 5 days, 90% of that shaking is went. Adding the RLV with melatonin, she now sleeps through the night, and she has a quality of life where now she can drive her car sitting straight instead of turning sideways and having to fight with that. So we will always be using these products.
Wow, what an awesome story. And what I love, Dave, is your story shows how continuously using these products, results continue to come. Now I'm going to go to Cindy Bennett. Could you come on and share how Relive has blessed you?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name's Cindy Bennett. I'm from Western Pennsylvania. Me and my husband have 4 grown children, 3 grandchildren, and 1 on the way. When we were first introduced to Relive products about 10 years ago, our son was the age of 12. He was an avid sports player all year round. He had suddenly come down with severe swelling in both knees and some joints in his fingers. And shortly after that, he was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis. And at this time, he was sitting out from his sports because he could not run. It was hard for him to walk, as he was walking around as if he was 100 years old. It was just terrible. And the doctors wanted to go ahead and put him on medications. And when I looked at the side effects, it scared me. So I went searching, and that's when Relive fell on my doorstep. And I was just so excited. And we got him started on his shakes. He got 2 to 3 shakes every day for about 3 months. And we saw great improvement in his health. And he was back to playing sports and running and just his normal self. So we were, very impressed. And so when I saw that in him, I wanted to get started on the products for myself. And of course, I'm a mom of 4 teenagers at the time. I saw, increased energy and better sleep. But I also noticed the acne that I dealt with my whole life had cleared up. My IBS symptoms had improved, and I was getting relief from my seasonal allergies, which I'm allergic to antihistamines. So the only thing I could take was ibuprofen or Tylenol. So I do not need to take those any longer. And then, after time, I'm a mom, and moms don't take care of themselves like they should. So I was one of those people who just stopped being consistent, wasn't taking my shakes, missed my shakes. And then I hit my 40s, and we all know our metabolism drops. And I started gaining weight. I went to a wellness visit, and my blood pressure was up, and they wanted to start me on medications, and I knew what I needed to do. And I started getting the shakes in me consistently every day. I joined the Fit3 program. I lost 15 pounds and 16 inches overall, going from a size 8 to a size 2-4. And that fueled my body. And I always wanted to be a runner, and I picked up running, and I'm running long distance now. And I never thought that would be something that I would pick up in my mid 40s, but I am loving my new lifestyle right now. I'm a 2-time Fit3 champion, which is, an honor. And, recently I started getting some perimenopausal symptoms for the last 5 months with night sweats and hot flashes. And CBD oil was what's doing that for me. I've been hitting that consistently twice a day, and I have had no more results or no more symptoms of perimenopausal symptoms. So I feel better now than I did in my 20s, and I will never again stop taking my shakes every day. We love Relive.
I think that's a wise choice, Cindy. Thanks so much. And
Sure.
I've actually been on these products now 21 years. I was a personal trainer and nutrition counselor when I got started, and I looked at it for the business, but you obviously don't recommend something you're not using. I got started not expecting to see changes because I was already taking almost everything that's in there, only separately that a doctor had prescribed for me. But what happened is when I got started, I stayed consistent, and it took time. But I went from someone who was in so much pain, if you touched me, it hurt. I was fatigued to the point I couldn't run around the yard with my kids. Digestive issues. I was careful what I ate. I was scoping out every bathroom, and brain fog so bad I couldn't read my kids their book at night. I'll tell you today, 21 years later, I throw hay bales, I ride horse, I play sports, I teach fitness classes. I'm 59 and I'm running circles around people 20 and 30 years younger than me. I absolutely love how I feel. My blood work actually shows I do not have an autoimmune disease anymore. And I can guarantee you, like Cindy, I will never be without these products. So I'm going to ask you with all those stories, and I have to congratulate our people who shared. You did a great job of following the guidelines, keeping it brief, getting to the bullet points, sharing how it's affected their life instead of just a symptom, which makes a huge difference when you talk to people, because you're going to talk to their heart, not to their head. You want to talk to the emotions and how it affected your life. That I couldn't run around the yard with my kids is far better than saying I was just tired. There's a big difference between a picture that you create in somebody's head for that. And that's why when you share your story, you want to make sure how it's affected your life so that people can see a picture of how it could affect their life in the process. So thank you everybody for sharing. I'm going to stress real quick, Relay doesn't claim to cure anything. We are phenomenal nutrition, but if you know anything about epigenetics, it shows why nutrition has such a powerful effect on our health. Good or bad, depending on what your nutrition is. And we know with Relive, it's good. So you're going to build your wall of belief in the business too. Taking action in your business within 72 hours. And here's the deal. You don't have to be brand new to take action within 72 hours of your business. You could decide that today, and within 72 hours, get your business going, no matter how long you've been in Relive. Because the speed of the leader really determines the speed of the path. As you are out there working your business, the people that you bring into the business with you are going to see what you are doing. They're going to see your example instead of hearing you just tell them what to do. They're going to see your example. So you're going to want to go build your Relive business story. And you know, when you share your business story, it's really along the same line. You want to let people know that yes, they can make an income, but share also how it's impacted your life. And even if you're brand new, you have a vision for where this business can go. So I'm going to have some people come on and share their business story as well. And thank you for being willing. Going to go to Maria Cortez. Could you come on and share how the Relive business has blessed you?
Yes, hi, good morning. This is Maria Cortez. I am from Chicago, born and raised in this city. I'm a mother of 4 little ones, ages 7 to 2. I currently stay at home. I'm a stay-at-home mom. And once I was listening to Relevant Radio, and I heard the ad about the work from home opportunity. But then I just didn't call back for a year. But I got a call from Diane and Edith. My husband and I, we just went ahead and met with them. We talked over coffee, and we loved what we heard. But I gotta be honest with you, Pam, we were skeptical at the beginning because I was involved with a different company before, and it didn't go well. And I thought to myself, can people really make money from this? So you know what? I just wanted to supplement my husband's paycheck and to help him pay for tuition and just to put food on the table without just having to leave home. And you know what, to be honest with you, we didn't know what to expect. And we started very simple with our distributorship of $40 at that time. But we got our results. We heard a lot of stories. We decided to move up to master affiliate last year in November. So we could maximize our profit, maximize our savings while we ate the product. And Pam, let me tell you, we have earned income every month, and it is putting food on our table. And our biggest month was last month, and we earned about $700. And you know what? That was huge for us. In addition to that, we have 26 points to the Hawaii promotion, and we love helping people. And we're not stopping. And I can imagine being a mom without the product of a family or without even this business. And you know what? Let me go ahead and add to you, our future is very bright. And let me add something, Pam. My last dream was that my husband and I were in Hawaii. And you know what? God willing, we're going to be there. We're very excited.
Absolutely. You keep doing what you're doing and you will be there, Maria. And you know what? I love hearing that little one in the background because it just shows you can do this around your children. Thanks so much, Maria, for sharing. I'm going to go over to Dawn Tucci. Could you come on and share how the business has blessed you?
Yes, hi everybody. Dawn Tucci, actually from Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, PM. I'm a mom of 3, and I have a background as a registered dietitian. And really had a lot of skepticism in the beginning, but health issues brought me to Relive. I became a master affiliate when I saw some results, and I'd heard so many stories of the changes that were happening for people. And I initially shared Relive because the products did work. And this paid for our products, which was huge. I was a stay-at-home mom, so to pay for my own products was really a great thing in the beginning for me. As I continued on to see results, I realized that I could make more of a difference working from home with Relive than I could if I went back to being a dietitian. So that's what I've done. I've worked very part-time, but the income has been great. I had a month early on where I was 4th in the nation, and with bonuses, my income that month was over $4,000. I've earned an all-expense trip with Relive. I currently average about $1,500 a month. But I also placed 5th in the nation a couple months ago, and with bonuses, the income was close to $3,000. I have 40 points towards the Hawaii trip promotion. I'm working hard, more inspired now than ever to earn more with this company, help more people, and I know that my income is going to continue to grow.
It absolutely will, because you're out there helping people. Dawn, thank you so much for sharing. And I'm going to go, well, from Hawaii, not sure where he is right now. Yes, Ferguson, could you come on and share how Relive business has blessed you?
Hey, Pam, we're quarantined down in Hilton Head, so been able to winter down here in the South for several years now. It's been a blessing. My name is Les Ferguson. Joyce and I live in the Dayton, Ohio area. And my story started 28 years ago with a conversation I had with a next door neighbor who was another Air Force friend. And he was excited about what had gone on with his family and thought I might benefit from being introduced to the products. Joyce and I didn't know each other at the time, but we were both single parents of young daughters. And we were both looking for some answers from nuisance health issues. But we remain medication free today after nearly 3 decades on this product. So that part of it's been just been a foundation of everything we've done since. I was just finishing an Air Force flying career. Joyce and I met, married, blended a family of 5 daughters under 14. And I had just started a second career with the defense business, intending to do that for, another 20 years or so. At the time, we were just very happy being wholesale consumers of these terrific products. But Joyce came to me one day, and about a year into our marriage, we thought she'd be going back to the corporate world because 5 girls weren't cheap to raise, and the Air Force had a nice retirement, but nothing to support us entirely. And my job was not significant either as far as income. But anyway, she came to me and said, I think I'm where I belong raising these kids. I think I can earn a couple $1,000s a month with Relive, and I'm willing to give it 10 hours a week. I was a bit skeptical, but I was a huge fan of the products and the company and integrity. And so I became a cheerleader for her. Within 6 months, she was earning that $2,000 a month. Within 2 years, it went over 6 figures. We prayerfully decided that I would resign, come home and join her. It's been 24 years now. We've been full-time parents for these girls. We've been able to put them through college without debt. We've traveled extensively with Relive on Relive's dime, nearly 90 trips around the world, the Far East, Europe, Mexico, Canada, all over the United States, either as teachers, ambassadors, or as bonus winners. We are approaching our senior years. We remain medication free. We're financially free because of this opportunity. We love to travel. We do spend 2 or 3 months in Pompano Beach, Florida, Orlando, and Hilton Head. And we've just loved that for the last 3 or 4 years. We're involved with our church at home. We play golf. I play pickleball. We have wonderful friends. We have time with family. We include 5 remarkable young women, our daughters, and 6 grandchildren. We've just been enormously blessed by the whole Relive experience, Pam. And it all started with a simple conversation years ago. Somebody sharing hope with us with an expressed need that we had.
That you never know whose life you're going to touch, and the impact it's going to have somebody's life because you do open your mouth and share. Les, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
I shared.
Thank you, Pam.
When I got started, I looked at the business and I came in at the top profit level on the products at the same time, not expecting to see a lot of changes, like I said, but I started to share immediately. I did not wait for my results. And I borrowed the strength of others, like we're going to talk about today, and just started sharing those stories with people and connecting them up. And in the first month, had 15 people using the products. They all got results before I did. So I learned it was a great product. I hadn't even seen a result, but I also earned $1,500 and worked part-time. Didn't focus as well, but part-time around raising my kids, averaged $1,000 to $2,000 a month extra income the first few years. Got a little more focused and just kept moving forward. And by the 4th year, it was a 6-figure income. We've earned as much as $250,000 in a year with the company. And that's being a 2-parent home. My kids were 4 and 5 when I started. They're now 25 and just turned 27. Both have continued to use these products, which is fantastic. But we have had a lifestyle like Les was talking about that is amazing. I'm able to afford horses, build an indoor arena, and pick when I work, how hard I work, and with who I work. And I absolutely love the freedom that Relive affords me. But I also love giving that opportunity to grab a hold of it and do the same to other people as well. And that's why I'll never quit sharing the Relive opportunity with people either. And again, we're not going to stress that that's going to happen to you. This business truly has unlimited potential income. And the difference, like I said at the very beginning, is you and how much effort you want to put forward. We have a special guest on. We have Eric Bell, Relive Europe chairman, or chairman of Relive Europe. I think I said that wrong, Eric. But if you could come on, we are so grateful to have you on today, because one of the things I was just talking about is the difference in building a business is really you. And Eric, if you would come on and just kind of share a little bit about what's going on in Europe, but also the characteristics and the actions that you're seeing from the successful Relive distributors who are really moving their business forward.
Thank you so much for having me on. I don't know where you got that photograph from, but anyways, my wife's standing behind me giggling at that photograph, laughing at the moment. So thanks for that, guys. I want to thank you and Sean for inviting me on. And I've got to say that the enthusiasm and the energy and the belief from the people who've already spoken before me is absolutely incredible. You talk about the wall of belief. You know, I personally think, Pam, that you need a checkup from the neck up if you can't hear the belief and enthusiasm and excitement that those folks have got. But we're just as excited over here in Europe. I met Bob Montgomery just over 15 years ago. And I'll be honest with you, I joined the company because of him. I wasn't on the products at the time or anything like that. I met Bob Montgomery and was very impressed with him. But at the time, Europe was, if you like, a non-entity. Things weren't happening over here. Subsequently, things have changed significantly, especially over the last 12 years, where we've gone from in Europe being sort of the also-rans to we are second in the world, only to the United States of America, and we're chasing you. But in answer to your question regarding characteristics, attitude, and actions that I've seen of different distributors around Europe, I could give you many, many stories and about different individuals throughout Europe, in Ireland, in the UK, in Austria, Germany, Holland. But the story I want to share with the folks today, if I may, is the story of France. When I took over the European operations, France was non-existent. But there was a girl at the time, I believe, that she was in Detroit because her husband worked in the car industry. They were French, but he worked for Peugeot, and she got involved in Detroit. And she built, with the help of people around her, that wall of belief that you talked about today, Pam. Her husband got transferred back to Paris, so she had to come back to France. And the beauty of the business is that you're not moving premises or warehousing or stock. So she came to France and then found the UK office. And then we set out on a journey. Caroline Laborier is her name. And you've got to remember, this girl had absolutely nothing in France. We could ship, because of the EU legislation, we could ship the product into France, but there was no product with French labels on. There was no marketing materials. There was no distributor application in France. There were no slides in France. I mean, absolutely nothing. But she went out, and I got to be quite honest, she overcame so many hurdles. Probably the biggest hurdle was me at the time, because I was trying to run Austria, Germany, etc. And what I needed to see was that this girl really, really wanted to build this business in France. And then Miriam Bavoutier, Anne Favreau, and Francois Poulizac all joined her. And I can tell you that the characteristics that the first thing I loved about those first initial French ladies was that there were no egos, man. Nobody was trying to be top dog or, you know, I'm number one and what have you. They all worked for the same thing. And that same thing was a find a way attitude, find a way of doing it. Let me tell you, nobody in the office spoke French, but Caroline spoke English. So Caroline, every day, every single day, used to get orders from all of the people that had become distributors in France. They would give her the orders and their credit card details. And then in the afternoon, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Caroline would phone the office and place everybody's orders in English. Now, what an attitude, what a fantastic attitude that was. The other thing that I liked about them, Pam, was that they developed themselves, these ladies, but more importantly, they developed other people. So you've got leaders who are developing leaders. And I'm a great believer in this, that leaders actually show themselves to be that. They step up to the plate, which is obviously an American term. And these girls in France did exactly that. They went out, talked about people, the wall of belief that you talked about on this training call today, so important. They believed in the products because they were getting the results. They were products of the product, so to speak. They believed in the opportunity. Caroline had seen that happen in America, in your backyard, and she brought that belief back, and the guys started to see it. Well, the rest is history, because 5 years ago, we officially opened the French market, and now, after the United States of America, country-wise, France is the second biggest market in the world. And so they showed characteristics for me of a find-a-way attitude. They developed themselves and they developed others. They didn't have egos, and it didn't matter that they had nothing, because they made something absolutely fantastic out of nothing at that time. So, you know, that's one of the exciting things. And at the moment, I'm now looking at other markets over here in Europe. We're currently looking at Poland and Italy and Spain and possibly Belgium, on how we can actually enter into those markets and widen the opportunity here in Europe for everybody in the reading world.
Eric, that is fantastic. But one of the things that you said about they developed other people, and I love that you said that, because one of the things I always say in Relive is your biggest investment is going to be in people. It's the time and the caring that you put into it. There's the minor investment to get started in Relive, even at the top profit level, but the true investment is your time and your caring that you put into other people that you introduce to Relive, whether it's just with the products or it's with the business, it's both. So you really highlighted that. And I love that find a way attitude. I mean, it really is. Instead of, I can't do that, it's, how can I do that? Any other last parting words you'd want to give somebody who's decided they really want to basically light their business on fire?
Yep. I'm well known over here. I don't know if I am over there for the phrase, don't let anybody steal your power. And one of the things that I have seen in the 15 fantastic years I've been with this company is I've seen people that have let other people steal their power. And all I would say to anybody on this call, don't let anybody, if you believe in those products, the way that those people have spoken today about the products, if you believe in the opportunities, the way that the people have spoken about what's happening to them because of the opportunity, right? Then don't let anybody steal your power. We haven't got time today, but I usually tell a story about how somebody stole my power once in my life. And I'll tell you now that because of somebody that I trusted turning around to me and saying, you let them steal your power, I nearly walked away from this industry over 16, 18 years ago. But I didn't let them steal my power. Don't let anybody steal your power, because you have got it inside of you. And we've got something that right now, right at this minute, the world is looking for. And I'm not just talking about the product, but I'm talking about the opportunity. We live in difficult times, etc. Don't let anybody steal your power. And thank you once again for having me on here today, Pam. It's been an absolute delight.
Well, thank you so much for being on. And we are really glad that you did not walk away from this industry, Eric. Thank you so much for being willing to be on.
No problem. You stay safe, everybody.
You too. Well, so what do we do? How do we start this business? How do we move it forward? You're going to make your list. And what is your list? Your list can be all different walks of life. There is no one single walk of life in Relive that's the successful one. They're all of them. And if you look at all of these, you know, teachers, stay-at-home moms, construction workers, farmers, accountants, Facebook friends, coworkers, relatives, neighbors, fill in the blank of somebody else that you even think of. They're the reason these type of people got involved with Relive in the first place is they were dissatisfied. They were dissatisfied with something in their life. It could have been their income, which is so relevant right now with what's going on with the pandemic. We don't know how many people are going to be able to bounce back from what's going on right now. And their health, definitely, that has never been more to the forefront than right now. Savings and retirement, we all see what's happened with the stock market right now and people's retirement, you know, and sometimes it's just a career. There are people who are actually making an income they like, but they don't like what they're doing. They're dissatisfied. I have talked to a number of people who have quit their job without another one going because of the atmosphere of where they're at. Is it lifestyle, lack of travel? They want more freedom. They want to see the world. There's so many different ways. And then bottom line too is fun. If you make your business fun, people will come because people do not have as much fun as they would like to anymore. It's just out of there. It seems like having fun is frowned upon, but this business is fun. Because what could be more fun than helping people with their health and their income and just having a better life? You know, and a nice person, because I will tell you, one of the big characteristics that you want to have in this business is a heart to help people. And when you find people with that kind of attitude, they're going to take a look at Relive as an opportunity to be able to do it. And don't prejudge. Here's what I always say is give everybody an opportunity to make a decision for themselves. When you're making your list, you're not writing down who you think will be interested. You're writing down everybody you know on a first name basis because you never know what's going on behind closed doors. And people may jump all over this that you thought would have nothing to do with it. Give them an opportunity to make that decision for themselves. Who else do you talk to? You know, you've got a warm market, there's a hot market. You know, my mom is actually the very first person I went to. Who do you truly care about? You've got extended Facebook friends, anyone you pay money to. You know, and right now, even online, you're still paying money to a lot of these people. They may be looking for an opportunity. They may be looking for a way to take care of their health. Old neighbors, you know, really start digging in. One of the things they used to say is if you had a child getting married, which I do right now, who would be on your wedding list? Because typically you have to cross people off your wedding list. Typically you have to cross people off on your wedding list. And you know what? That's a great place to start if you're trying to figure out what to do and how to start your list. Cold market. When I started this business, what I did is I did everything. I did hot market, warm market. I did start in cold market immediately. I was doing boosts. I still do ads. Opportune moments. Well, you probably don't have a lot of those going on right now, but you will be getting back out there. You will be meeting people again. Booths, yard signs, opportunity cards. Get the word out about what you're doing. And the more people that you know what you are doing, the more opportunity you're going to have to share. And the more people you're going to have to talk to. This is what we call our pipeline. Relive is a 30, 60, 90-day business. So even when you're working with people moving forward with Relive, you're still continuing to put people into your pipeline because it's a consistent flow of new people coming in, new prospects, which turn into customers, which turn into distributors. And what's going to happen is those people are going to flow through. But if you quit putting people into the pipeline, it's what does a pipe do when there's nothing more going in? It dries up. There's nothing coming out the other end. And that's why you are continuously, even when you are working with people who have moved forward with Relive, you are continuously putting new people into your pipeline. So you decide how many new people that you're putting into that pipeline, that you're talking to each day, each week, and having a goal for each day and each week gives you a tangible goal, a tangible thing to do each and every day in your business. So let's make your list today. Get plugged into the monthly momentum starter system. Here's the deal. We said at the very beginning about getting involved in Relive opportunity stories, when to hear the stories. Well, as you hear those stories, they're going to jog your memory of people that you need to talk to, and probably have more of a sense of urgency to talk to them as well. Unfortunately, right now, a lot of this is 8 hours a month. Right now, you have a webinar going on virtually every single day, except for Sundays that you can get plugged in. There's 15 hours a week that you can actually be plugged in, and that you can be plugging people into. So when you contact the top 10 on your list this week, and if you're new, you can use your upline to do that. Just share with them your excitement and you can plug them in. Now, how many people would you like to talk to? Since we're home, all of us are home, it doesn't have to be the 10. You can up that number. I know Sean said he put a challenge out there of 30 new people each week. You pick the number because this is your business. But if you want to build a business, like Maria, we talked about how she wants to go to Hawaii. I guarantee you she's not just talking to one person a week. She's got a number that she's talking to and plugging into these webinars and these conferences and these calls each and every day. And she's got a number that's going to match what her goals are. And that's really what the key is what is your goal of where do you want to reach with Relive? And so what are you willing to do to get there? How many new people are you going to introduce to Relive? And with those new people, you're going to learn and use the other elements of that success system. There's tools and promotions. What a system is, you guys, is it's not your job. A system is your tool. These are tools you're going to use each and every day and each and every week to educate people about Relive, to give them an opportunity to learn about it, and to help those who are interested in moving forward with Relive to literally fall in love with Relive. So here's building your wall of belief. You're going to write them down. And for some reason, my slide didn't come up, but I was going to talk about you're going to get 3 notebooks. And the first notebook, which the slide didn't come up, I must have hit it. I was talking about your notebook is your list. It's everybody you know on a first name basis. That's what your notebook is. Notebook 2 is your list of stories. When you hear stories, have a pen and paper, record the stories. Your upline's going to be introducing you to people. Be ready when they introduce you to record that story. Get their contact information. You're on these calls, you're on these webinars. Write those stories down. Put them in your list of stories. Right now, my phone is my list of stories, and I can literally go and search and find 10s and 20s of people with specific issues because I write the stories down as I hear them. You can get the contact information from your upline. We're in network marketing. That's what we do. We network, we share stories for each other. And so if you have that list of stories, you're also going to have a bank of stories to connect people to so they get to hear it right along with you. When you heard those stories today, would they have been as effective if I would have just told them to you? Or if you heard them like you did today, directly from that person, what happened with them? That's the power of the stories. And that's why you are responsible for collecting those stories. Write them down. Your upline will help you in the beginning, but write them down and start building your own bank of stories. So you're ready to go now. You've got your list. Well, guess what? The list is great, but it's not going to do you any good if you don't start connecting with those people. You're going to contact them. And when you contact them, you're going to have that gold mine attitude. You have the deal. That wall of belief, Eric was talking about what we have. People are looking for it. And we have something that is not like anything else out there, both with the products and with the business. And understanding that, how you share is going to make a huge difference. I always share about a boss I had when I worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield in Minnesota, and we believed her 100% of the time, and she was wrong 50% of the time. But we still believed her because of the way she spoke. That was the most important part. She had the enthusiasm. And when you have that enthusiasm, people are going to hear it. It doesn't matter if they believe you. It's the fact that they believe you believe it that's going to pique their interest and get them to move forward to learn more. So a person who has a dream of what can happen, even if it hasn't happened for you yet, is going to be much more powerful than somebody who's just spewing a lot of facts instead. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. And this is all to do with the attitude. Having that wall of belief, it's why you stay plugged in. It's why you keep moving forward. Because like I said, when people believe that you believe it, they are good. It's going to pique their interest to actually think, well, I need to take a look at this. Ready to go? You're going to make contact. How are you going to contact them? You have a lot of different options. You can contact them via your phone. You can give them a call. I will tell you, hearing your excitement via the phone call or in person when you can get back to there is going to be far more effective because they can hear the inflection in your voice. They can hear the excitement. You can text those people. You can messenger them on Facebook. You can email them. You can Skype them. However you can make that contact that works for you. Use your Relive tools. We have the Relive app, which is fantastic with a lot of videos, that you can utilize to pique an interest. So what do you say when you contact them? It isn't so important of what you're saying as how you say it. It's the excitement that comes through. There's a lot of different options, but you're going to be yourself. And each person you're talking to is going to be a little bit different. It's where their interest is lying right now and what that relationship you have with them that's gonna be what determines what you're gonna say. You're gonna share yours and other stories. One thing I should have put up here though was a picture of an ear. Because one of the things I will tell you, this is about building relationships. And if you listen to people, you will hear things that are going on with them. I use a good example. I have a good friend who was telling me about her brother-in-law was suffering with scleroderma. And I was talking to her and I asked a few questions about what he was doing, how he was feeling. And she was sitting in our horse arena and I just took my phone out, called the distributor whose wife had results with that. And I said, you need to hear this. And I just put the story by her phone. That person went on to become a master affiliate. And those people are still in the products today. She still shares it with a few people. But it's because of that story. It's not because I told the story, but it's because she had the opportunity to hear the story. I wasn't shy about it. I just said, you need to hear it. And she even said, I was wondering why you handed me the phone for this. But obviously the story showed it right away, why she was hearing it. Things you've got to hear this. If I would you line, if I sent you a video, would you watch it? Fantastic. When can you watch it? Would it be better for me to call you this day or the next day? So put a sense of urgency and follow up with that if you do that. How about I thought of you because? If you're on a story call and you think of somebody, share that with them. I thought of you because, and then share a snippet of that story and say, you've got to hear this. How about you were on my heart? Be yourself. Use the words that work for you. I know I know a very strong distributor who says, I could do some research on that if you would like. Use what works for you and in each situation. Again, like I said earlier, if you listen and you hear what a person's need is, you're going to be able to address it and use the words that work with that. There's no magic words that are going to make everybody take a look at it. And I will tell you, not everybody will take a look at it, but the ones who want to change will take a look at it. If you're yourself, you show that you care, and then you let them hear it the way you did. Through the stories. There's a lot of different ways you're going to share with people because that's the next step. You've made that connection. You've set that appointment, send strong appointments and invitations, benefiting them, not you. Not I want you to hear this, but you need to see this. You need to hear this because we want to focus on what their needs are. It used to be we had Relive opportunity meetings in person. They're on hold, not going on. Relive basic training meetings, they're on hold as well. There's really not anything really going on truly in person at this point. There's special events not going on right now. That's on hold too. So what do you have available? There's a lot of options available right now. You have your upline number one, especially if you're brand new. They've got the strength and conviction of they know that these products work, they know that this business works, and they're going to be able to share that. They're going to be able to answer questions. They're going to be able to actually even counter some negatives. You also can use other Relive distributor stories. That's what we were just talking about. You know, I have somebody I'm going to bring on in a little bit, but free way to bring validation. You can use those validations to validate what you're saying, the borrowed strength of others. That's what this business is about. We're so used to in the normal corporate world that the sooner that you can be on your own and do everything on your own, the better you are, the more successful. In Relive, it's the opposite. The better you get at borrowing that strength of others, using those other stories, what's going to happen is you're going to be more successful because you are putting evidence in front of people with every single story you put in front of them. It is like bringing evidence to a jury. And each person is going to take a little bit more evidence to move forward. But what's going to happen as you're doing this, if you're brand new, the cool part about this is you're going to learn while you're earning it. I earned $1,500 my first month, and you guys, really all I did was connect people to my sponsor because I didn't know it. I didn't know Relive. So I connected to her, but I learned Relive while I was earning that income. Using those other distributor stories, it's so much different. Like I said, my girlfriend, I could have shared that distributor whose wife got results with scleroderma. I could have shared that story, told her about it, but I do not think it would have had the power that it had because she got to hear it directly from that distributor. That's the power of it. So you have a powerful way to share Relive. You've got now what's going on with the Momentum Starter System. Used to be 8 hours a month. We know that's different now. You've got the Monday night Commit to Success training call. There's always stories on there first. So open to everybody. You get 30 minutes of it. Sometimes it's not even that long. Training stories, the promotions that are going on, the recognition. You got somebody looking at the business, it's a great thing to connect somebody up. If your line has its own training call, you can get people on that one. Just utilize that call to not just put yourself in, which is really important for you to be on there, but also connecting other people in with you. The more people you have with you in each part of this, the stronger and the larger your business is going to grow. We now have what else is going on. We have, like we said, the training call. You have this webinar going on. Used to be 8 hours a month. It's normally the first and third Tuesday night of each month. And remember, I keep saying normally. You can get all of this information on the Positively Charged Facebook page, where it's always out there. You've got the Thursday night short and sweet call, which is fantastic. A 15-minute call where you get 3 to 4 powerful stories available to you. And then you have the replay for the rest of the week to share with people. Now, notice that the Thursday night short and sweet call has a new number. Make sure you have written this down. I did talk to a few people who were still dialing the old number. So make sure you have the new number. Again, this is on the Positively Charged Facebook page. If you're not a member of that, I would definitely get on that. And then we have that Work to Wealth training webinar every Saturday, the first and third Saturday of every morning. Right now it's every Saturday. Because what's happening now? We have the quarantine webinar marathon. You have an opportunity. Here's the cool part, you guys. You have an opportunity to take someone to a meeting. I should have counted how many there are here. But every day of the week, you have at least 2 opportunities, most of the time 3 opportunities to get them to a quote unquote meeting. Okay. Basically a webinar is an online meeting. You just don't have to leave your home. And then you have an opportunity with those calls. So you have an opportunity 3 to 4 times a day to get people connected to Relive, to hear the story. And what you can do is work to each element. If you have someone on the 10 a.m. webinar, guess what? Now, when you get off, take care of them, figure out what they want to do, move on to the 2 o'clock. Who can I get on that 2 o'clock? Who can I get on that 7:30 or whatever your training call, your line's training call is? Now we're back to who can I get on the 10 a.m. Tuesday. As you work to each element of this, you're going to be plugging new people in. Your business will grow exponentially because when they see you doing that, they're going to start doing it and taking advantage of these as well. So you're setting that example. And your business, you could be in Hawaii starting today. You could actually build enough points to get to Hawaii from today, taking advantage of what's going on with this webinar and call marathon. Once you have presented it and you've used those tools to present Relive, you're going to ask for a decision. And there's a lot of different ways you can do it. The one thing I stress is we don't use yes and no answerable questions. And that was not a good way to put it, I know. So in other words, ask them something that's going to get them to share what's in their head, what they are thinking, instead of them being able to just say yes or no. So what are you thinking? Where do you see yourself getting started? One of the things I like is, what do you like best about what you heard? What are you looking to gain from Relive? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your interest? You know, there's a lot of different ways you can ask it, and you're going to find what works best for you. And again, you're going to find what works best for the situation. But then stop, and again, I should have put a picture of an ear here. Stop and listen to them. Let them share with you what they're thinking. And it may take them a minute or two to even respond, because there's a lot of information they're processing through. So they've got to put that into words too. But once they start to process it and they start to share with you where they're at, you want to do, they want to get started on the products. Very often you're going to hear, well, don't really want to look at the business, but if the products work, maybe I'd like to get started on the products. Fantastic. Whatever decision somebody makes to move forward with Relive is fantastic. Now you may have somebody who says, well, I'd like more information. One of the things I would ask then is, what kind of information do you need? So you know where to go from there. You have to stop and listen and find out where people are. But if you utilize both ears and keep the one mouth kind of quiet, what's going to happen is you're going to understand where somebody is, and you're going to know the next step to take with them, whether it's getting them more information, or if they're wanting to get started on the products, or they're wanting to get started in the business, get them registered immediately and then follow up with them. Do that registration with them. Don't just say, okay, go to this website, go to my website, click join, and go and get in. Do it with them, walk them through it. If you call them on the phone and you walk them through it right now. If you have Zoom, you can actually do it with them on Zoom. There's a lot of different ways, but do it with them. Take interest in them and help them move forward. And they're going to see that you care. So as you go around for the follow-up, they're going to know that you're doing this because you care about them and what's going to happen. Prepare them for the follow-up. Let them know you're going to be calling them. Let them know you're going to be tracking the results. Let them know if they want to build a business, that you'll be introducing them to other people, building their bank of stories. Share with them what that process is going to be with the follow-up. And I cannot stress the follow-up enough. The follow-up is the most important. When you're doing this, and we'll cover with the follow-up, your attitude of how hard you're working is going to determine how fast and how large and if your business grows. When you talk to a lot of people, what's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of action, because it's just a numbers. It's just a numbers game. You know, some people will and some people won't. If you talk to just a few people, if that's what your goal is, that's okay. But if you talk to just a few people, you're going to get some action. You talk to a lot of people, you're going to get a lot of action. A no today is not a no forever. And I'd like to say right now, a no yesterday, a no a year ago is not a no today, because things have changed. People's situations financially have changed. People's situations health-wise have changed with everything that's going on. So going back to the people, and especially with what just came out to yesterday with that product, you can go back to people that you have talked to before and say, you need to take a look at this. I was so busy yesterday trying to get that video out, trying to get hold of so many people saying, I really think you would want to investigate this or to learn about this. And already people are saying, tell me more, after they've seen just the short video on defense. Understand, some will, some won't. So what? Somebody's out there waiting to hear about it, but you won't reach them if you keep continuing to try to convince somebody. You know, Eric Ville talked about, don't let people steal your power or your thunder. Understand, there may be some people that you in your heart of hearts really wish and know that Relive would do so much for them, and they won't move forward with it. You can't make somebody want it. You can only be the messenger. You can only share. And then you have to understand it's their decision. But if you continue to try to convince somebody, and I'm not saying never go back to them or anything like that, but if you don't make the effort to reach out to other people as well, you're going to miss some people who really needed it and would have moved forward, but never got the opportunity to make the decision about Relive because you never shared it with them and neither did anybody else. Keep yourself engaged. This is how you stay excited. This is how you stay moving forward. This is how you keep the chinks and the bricks from falling out of your wall of belief. We have the Relive National International Conference, and I really do think this is going to happen. It's the last weekend in July. You want to make sure you get registered. It is phenomenal. You know, you've got phenomenal trainings from top distributors, corporate, the scientific personnel, all these other distributors out there. You get the advanced training, the product development, all of that. But I'll tell you what the biggest thing conference is it's fuel for your Relive fire. It gives you a sense of where Relive is going. It reignites that passion. And this business is about passion. It's a 2 to 3 day event, but when you utilize it correctly and go with the right attitude, it can literally explode your business. If you come home with that passion and start to share again. You want to get registered again, it's July 31st and August 1st, 2020. It's going to be in St. Louis, which is fantastic. Full details, talk to your upline or go to relive.com/events where you can get registered. Get registered today, you guys. Now we talked about follow-up and the importance of follow-up, and we've shared this many, many times. If you're not doing follow-up, which a lot of times I like to term follow through. We told people we cared about them, we wanted to help them. Well, guess what? Let's show it. Let's follow through with what we need to do. Let's help those people get those results, be it with the products or with the business. Because if you're not doing it, you're literally throwing hundreds to thousands of dollars out the window. There's prospect follow-up. And that's somebody you started to introduce to Relive. They haven't said they're not interested. They want more information. You're continuing with that follow-up. You're doing it with a call, an appointment, stories, one of these webinars, a video. There's so many different things that you can utilize now to continue to engage that person into what's happening with Relive. Right now with the new product, it's a fantastic time to grab a hold of that prospect and say, you need to hear what just happened with this company. New customer follow-up. I know this is from a long time ago, and there's no exact regimen you're going to follow. One thing about this is kind of what I would call this is a guideline. But what you're going to do is gauge what's going on. Again, you're going to listen to the person and you're going to help them get started. One of the things you're going to do through that follow-up is, number one, make sure they're utilizing the products, because we all know if you don't utilize the products, they don't go in your body. They're not going to work. They don't work by just holding a can. You can continue to share stories with them. One of the processes of follow-up is helping people fall in love with Relive, to understand what's possible with it. And I'm not talking about the studies. I'm not talking about that. What I am talking about is what's actually happened. The stories of what's actually happened for people, is they're going to hear what's possible down the road. My results were really, really slow. They were very up and down and slow, but I was already doing the business. So one of the things I was doing with follow-up with people is I was hearing the stories right along with them. And those stories kept me motivated to continue using my own products to get the results I did. It also helps people recognize their results. I had a lady with fibromyalgia who still had pain about 3 months into it, but we had been sharing stories with her, and I had done follow-up with her with the tracking questionnaire, and found out she hadn't used an inhaler for 2 months, and she had used to use it daily. So you help people recognize their results as well, because sometimes people get focused on one area of results and don't recognize the results they got in other areas. I didn't realize I got results with my varicose veins till I heard somebody sharing it on a call. And it's not even something I share that often, but I would not have realized it had I not heard those stories. So I cannot stress the importance of that enough. And then the new, and I put in their old distributor follow-up too. There's a lot of distributors who are still using the products, not really, plugging into what's going on with Relive though. And don't you think they deserve to know about what's just come out yet from yesterday? and what Relive's doing and where this is going. Give them a chance to hear it too about new products, but just even the direction Relive is moving. That is huge. Now, when you've got somebody wanting to build this business, you're doing it with them. You're connecting them, helping them build their wall of belief, helping them build their bank of stories, teaching them how to plugging in with them. Hey, want to hear this call? Let's get on. Let's get on the webinar together. Encourage them, support them, help them take the action. Be there when they need you to share with other people. Be there when they need the questions answered. Connect them to the business stories. Continue to help them build their wall of belief. You know, just basically plug them in with you and work closely side by side with them. Eventually, they're going to learn to do that with somebody that they get started. But it's kind of like when you parent, if you spend that time with your children and you show them how to do certain things along the line, when they have their kids, they will follow in their parents' footsteps. And that's what you're going to do with your distributors. Do it side by side, show them how to do the business by doing it with them. Our single greatest Relive tool is the stories. Obviously, can you tell that I really believe the stories are really the crux of this business? You know, they trump opinion every time. Like I said, they take out the argument. They help people fall in love with what Relive can do with the products, not just the products though, but also the business. I have somebody I got started on the products a while back who wanted nothing to do with the business, but through the stories, and because they got such great results, move forward to become master affiliate. Called me and asked me how they could become a master affiliate because of the stories they heard, because it gets them possibility thinking, gets them thinking of other people, and either they're going to give you referrals or they're going to want to start to share with the people they know as well. It's going to open those new centers of influence and build that excitement. It's going to counter the negatives. Stories are truly the crux of the business. And there's one person I want to bring on, Nikki Bernard. Could you come on real quickly? And Sean, you may need to unmute her. Nikki was sharing a story with me yesterday, and I really do think this really hits home what we're talking about right now. Are you on, Nikki?
Yes, good morning, Pam. Can you hear me?
Yes. Will you please share what you were sharing with me about the person that you needed a story for?
Yes, I'd love to. Good morning, everybody. My name's Nikki Bernard. I've been part of Relive for the past 16 years, and something happened Wednesday night. I was on a webinar for the first time, and I had a couple on, and they have a daughter who has a brain tumor. And so I had them on, and after the webinar, I called them back and I said, so what did you think of what you heard? And they said, the wife said, she goes, well, I've heard all this stuff. It's nothing different than what I heard. And then I found myself in a convincing mode. I know these stories are the lifeblood of Relive. And I just went off and started saying, well, this is how it's different. And instead of getting another story in front of her, my upline on, I just went in the convincing mode. She said, well, we'll talk about it and we'll get back to you if we're interested. So I went to bed that night and I did not sleep well. I woke up very early and all I could think is, Nikki, I think of like what Eric Bill shared about, don't let others steal your power. I thought, you know what? I needed to get her and them on a story that they could relate to or that they were looking for. And so I called Pam the next day and my upline, Jim David, and Jim said, you know, he told me, he said, Nikki, you've got to get them on a story. He said, it's not going to do any good to get them on with me. They've already heard me on the webinar. And he said, you get them on a story. So I called him and she gave me a story of a lady, some stories with people with brain tumors results. I called the couple up yesterday and I said, you know, I said, I couldn't sleep after we talked. I just was up front with them. I couldn't sleep. These products are different. There is nothing else like these products and you need to hear. I said, I have a lady in Nebraska that's willing to share her story with a brain tumor. Would you be interested? And they said, and I said, I gave them two times and I said, could you give me a couple times that might work for you? And they did. And they're going to be hearing the story on Wednesday morning. And so that the stories are the lifeblood. And, you know, I know that, but yet I still went back in that convincing mode. So it is the power of the stories that are the power of this business, the lifeblood of this business. And we can't convince people and make them do what they don't want to do, but these stories do it all. And that's right, Pam's right. They'll, you know, then they're like, wow, that would be interesting to hear a story that actually we can relate to or looking for results.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. Being able to personally talk to someone holds so much weight. Nikki, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
And that's one of the reasons you stay plugged in. That's one of the reasons you build your bank of stories, so you have those stories to draw on. That's why you borrow the strength of others and you network with other distributors, because we all help each other out. In real estate, it's location, location, location. In real estate, it's stories, stories, stories. We have so much phenomenal science to validate everything we've got. The stories are really going to drive it home, and they're what talks to people's hearts. They're what you're going to get people to move forward, because it's talking to the heart and not the head. You've got a lot of tools that you can use. Make sure that you're taking advantage of all the tools you have available with Relive. You have the bundle, which is, I think, the best deal around. You get the Relive phone app with, again, the very short but informative video on defense is already on there. You can put that out there. You've got the Relive website. You get your own personal website. I think this is so important. I would definitely stress it with everybody. And Relive dashboard to keep track of your business. You are the CEO of your business, your Relive business. That Relive dashboard gives you tools to track and analyze and realize where you're growing and where you can work on. All of this for $15 a month. That is huge. You don't need to maintain the website. Relive does that for you. That is huge. $15 a month. It is the deal, the best deal you can get. You got to understand the Relive tools that you've got, sharing with people the cash bonuses. By moving your business forward, you can earn cash bonuses. You know, people are getting laid off, and Relive, we're paying out bonuses because of what's happening. There's 6 different ways you can qualify for bonuses. You got it when on Monday on the Commit to Success call, you'll hear about what's happening for people, who's earned those promotions, who's earned those bonuses. Right now they have trip promotions going on. Right now it's the Hawaii trip. There's multiple ways to qualify. The current Relive trip promotion is Hawaii 2020. It ends in July, October 1st through July 31st. And you guys, there are people who did this last time in literally 2 months, in 1 month. You can do it. If you really, truly want it, all you need to do is put your head down, focus, and put the effort for it. And start utilizing the Relive tools that you have to share. Your equation for success. And you guys, this is, I think some people quit listening to this, but it really is true. Consistency. Do something every day. When you do something every day, it's easier to do. When you do it intermittently, it's harder. Persistence, again, I think the persistence is more about what Eric Bell said, not letting people steal your power. Keep moving forward. Are you gonna have no's? Yes, you're gonna have no. That's the nature of the business, because not everybody gets it. Not everybody will understand how amazing Relive is, but there are people out there who will, if you just continue to move forward and share with people. And that determination, keep your goal in front of you. What is your goal for Relive? And keep it in front of you. Keep it posted. You continue this, it's going to equal success. This isn't a rocket shoot to the top right away success. This is a long-term, just like the Fit 3 talks about lifestyle, this is a long-term commitment to building your business and moving it forward. But each step you take to move your business forward is a step in the right direction. Build your wall of belief. Remember that I said there was 3 notebooks I told you to get? Well, the notebook number 3, it's your Relive journal. What are you doing every single day to build your business? Because what you want to concentrate on is the income producing activities. What is that? New people, connecting new people, put them in your pipeline and connecting them to the Relive story. However you're doing that, and following up with the existing customers and distributors so that they continue to fall in love with Relive and your customers will become distributors. The distributors will become successful distributors. It just continues to move on if you're concentrating on those income producing activities. And if your business isn't where you want it to be, and you're writing down what you're doing in Relive each day, you will be able to go back and figure out where you need to change what you're doing, what you need to do more of, or maybe what you need to do less of, like just organizing and writing things down and not really taking the action. So that notebook, that your Relive journal, will give you the opportunity for that. Right now, you have a great opportunity to track. This is, Sean developed this, it's fantastic. It's a tracking questionnaire for the webinars, how many people you have on each day. This is something you can have in your Relive journal. It's something you can use to track how many new people and how many maybe old but kind of fallen away people that you've connected in. They're new when you think about it. What are you doing each and every day? You can, yes, it's a point system, and a lot of people like to use point system, but it's an idea of how to track something that you're doing every single day. Because when you build a Relive business, if you're tracking what you're doing, you're gonna know where you're being successful, where more effort needs to be put, and you'll have a plan of action for the next week. You're gonna do it with passion. You guys, have fun with this. Seriously, have fun. Who are you gonna talk to today? You can get all these files and the charts and all this kind of stuff, you know, on the Positively Charged Facebook group under files. The events that are happening, all of that. If you're not on the Positively Charged Facebook page, you definitely want to get on there so you can stay up to date on some of the things that are happening. But Relive is an amazing opportunity to give people hope, but also give it to yourself if you're willing to take that action and move forward. I want to thank everybody who shared on this training, got me all excited again, which, you know what, with everything that's happening with Relive, that's really not hard to do anymore. Let's just go change some lives. And I will tell you, it will increase your passion, and you will realize how much fun it is to make a difference in the world with people.